Man, AT&T, what are you going to do next? Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And now that I have your guys' attention, I have a great article here from Yahoo Finance. I will leave a link to it in the description down below so you guys can check it out. So yes, that's right. A lot of people are asking what's next for AT&T. And I want to say about 99% of people on this channel want to know what's next for AT&T from the wireless side. Right? They haven't really, if you look at AT&T Wireless, outside of the growth that they were able to get because of the merger, Sprint, that churn was up. They haven't done anything really exciting on wireless. They bought the lowest amount of C-band, and combining that with the DoD still leaves them in the lowest mid-band position. They're not really going big on fixed wireless access. They're not really aggressively doing anything on the M&A side on wireless. They're not really too big on MVNO deals. So what are they really doing on wireless? Outside of FirstNet. I'll give them FirstNet all day long. They got the contract. They're expanding the network. They're getting the government reimbursements. We understand that one very well. We know what that does for the company, and we know where that's going to take the network. But just on the core wireless side, what are they going to do next? We know what they're going to do next on fiber. So here in the article, Feeding the Need for Speed, AT&T grand $42.5 billion plan to expand fiber optic reach. So we know what they're doing there, right? They're partnering. And I'm positive, I'm very strongly positive of what I'm about to say next. The M&A space for AT&T and fiber is going to be hot as a potato. In the coming years, we are going to see them consolidate that market. And I'm not saying AT&T is going to buy up everyone, but they're going to buy one big player. Whether that's a merger or an acquisition remains to be seen, but I fully, truly believe that AT&T is headed in that direction on fiber. And why do I say that? Because they've recently told us, the current management that's in place, they told us how they view wireless. They say it's saturated. There's not much more for the company to gain on upside. It's a very, very hard ARPU play. Average revenue per customer, for those of you who don't know what ARPU stands for. It's very hard. It's a very saturated competitive space. And AT&T is telling us by this pivot that they're no longer willing to compete more aggressively on wireless more than they already are. They're already subsidizing handsets. That's already thousands of dollars that they're spending. They're not going to be willing to drop pricing anymore. Right? The MVNO space is not as saturated as it could be. It's not as competitive as it could be. So dealers and other owners are going to fight for that. That's going to make the MNO space, the mobile network operator space, even more tougher, more competitive. Look at cable, and they're just getting started. They don't even have a meaningful percentage of market share yet, and yet they're growing each and every quarter. That's got to be tough to fight against. So AT&T they're raising the white flag on wireless. They're telling us this now. And again, I'm not saying they're getting out of wireless. They're still going to continue. They're still going to upgrade sites, but they are not going to be as aggressive as what you're seeing on screen. Right? The most aggressive in this decade that we'll see AT&T is what we saw from them at the start of the C-band build. They told us they would sacrifice some free cash flow to up their capex to push the C-band. And we saw them spend up to $24 billion, and out of that pot, they pulled some $5 or $6 billion directly for C-band. And that's going to come down. That's going to come down from 24 to 20 billion, and in the future, potentially that lowers as well. So I anticipate that will be the most aggressive that we'll see when it comes to networking on wireless. Other than that, I don't see AT&T approaching anybody on M&A to grow prepaid or whatever. They're going to let Cricket do what Cricket does. If they get approached by some MVNOs, I'm sure they'll entertain. If the deal's good, they might take it. They'll have a lot of capacity because they're not doing fixed wireless access. So they're going to look to grow. They're going to look to grow to add on to that capacity to monetize it. They're going to look for usage. Could that potentially mean in the future that they do go big on fixed wireless access? It's a possibility. Stanky's not going to be around forever. There's going to be new leadership eventually. They're already looking to consolidate headquarters. So it's AT&T is not in a do or die position, right? But right now, as it stands, if you look at the numbers, if you look at side A and side B, fiber just makes the most sense. It's going to get investors more excited. It's going to allow AT&T to keep the dividend where it is. It's just it's all they have going right now in terms of a clear positive momentum. It presents higher ARPU, and they're still growing that ARPU on that side. So they have a lot of room there to grow. A lot of room. Fiber is huge for them. And to say they only cover like 12,000 square miles of the U.S., I mean, you can see how much more runway they got. Their wireless network covers 2.91 million square miles of the U.S., and I'm not saying fiber will ever get that large, but there's many other cities and states that they can grow fiber and could dominate. Right? The fiber space is not really big in the sense of competitors. There's a lot of competitors that tried it. They backed out. Google Fiber, Fios, Frontier. There's a couple of others that really wanted to get into fiber, but they saw how expensive that was. AT&T is doubling down on that. They've been investing billions of dollars for the last few years, and now they're again pushing another $42.5 billion into this fiber build. Now, this is through a partnership. I don't know how the exact percentage is split. I've been hearing some numbers, but that was, of course, under a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't share those percentages. But it's going to be quite a chunk coming out of AT&T's CapEx to fund this. I mean, that's contracts, labor costs, fiber spool, you name it, they'll have to pay for it. And that company, that JB Rock or whatever that company is, they're going to cover some of that as well. And then, of course, AT&T will be its first customer. But you can see it clear as day. Fiber is the new focus. It's going to, if there's another analyst day, fiber is going to be the number one topic, with wireless coming after. And when we get to hearing about wireless, it is not going to be as aggressive and a priority as it maybe once was. Not anywhere close. We're not going to see a day where we get, maybe in the future as leadership changes, but we're not going to see an AT&T that comes out and says, okay, we're going to deploy 50,000 C-RAN over the next 3 years, 20,000 macros. We're not going to see that. They're going to look at this and review it on the case-by-case basis, market by market, depending on share, and that's how they're going to spend the local funds. If you are in a market that has both wireless and fiber, good luck to you, because the local market is going to be split between fiber, and I have a very strong feeling most of that money is going to go towards fiber, depending on the wireless situation in your market. If you have a market of wireless that is a very low share, more of the money will probably go to fiber. If the fiber spend and fiber build in your area does lead to wireless growth, then AT&T will likely reconvene, and they will probably push some more money into the wireless side, like they're kind of doing in El Paso. They spent an additional $42 million into the wireless network here. There's more sites coming. They've been a bit delayed, but that's kind of how they started it. So you can look at it in a good and a bad light. The good, fiber could lead to wireless growth, which would cause them to invest more in the wireless network in your market. The bad, initially, most of that money is going to go towards fiber if the wireless network is currently struggling. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel for more. Just wanted to drop this on you guys, kind of see what's next for AT&T. I truly believe fiber is their big component moving forward, and they are not going to be shy about letting us know. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the channel for more. Like, share, subscribe, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See you in the next one. Peace.